Welcome to Create Your Midlife, the podcast where self-agency becomes the new feminine power. I'm Dr. Oksana Skidan, and every week we explore what it means to create your life by leading yourself with ease, clarity, and presence, one real conversation at a time. Last year, I almost missed the holiday magic because I was too busy trying to reinvent it. I was caught in that familiar rush, chasing a better season, the perfect table, the ideal mood. You know how it goes. New magazines come out, Pinterest boards start overflowing, everyone's talking about the newest recipe or the trendiest holiday color palette. And without even noticing, you start thinking, maybe this year I should do it differently, better, prettier, more memorable. For me, it's always I go into a different color. Maybe this year my Christmas tree, or should I say our Christmas tree, should have all blue colors or red colors ornaments. That's something that I contemplate every single year. But somewhere in that rush, I also realized something interesting. In trying to make everything new, I was forgetting what had already worked beautifully, what had already felt right, what had already made me feel home. And for me, home and holidays, those two very special concepts. As many of you know, I'm from Ukraine, and every holiday season, I wouldn't say sad, but I really miss being home, even though I call United States home now for many, many years, and I love this place, and I love our home in the United States. But when holidays come around, there is that nostalgic feeling of the home where I was born. So I always look at the holidays with sadness and sparkle in my eyes. So this year, I decided to slow down, not to repeat, but to remember. Not to remember something sad, but to remember something special. Because the holidays aren't just sparkly and sweet, they're emotional for me, and I know they're emotional for you. They are layered. They carry history, family, longing, hope, and sometimes even a little ache. We crave celebration, but we also crave calm. We want the new, but we're drawn to the familiar. That's the real texture of the season, and it's beautiful when you stop trying to smooth it out. So today I want to talk about learning from the past holidays, about how to create the holidays your way, not through reinvention, but through reflection. Not by adding more, but by choosing differently. Because sometimes the calmest, most meaningful season isn't the one you design, it's the one you allow. So let's begin. Let's talk about what it means to learn from the past holidays and how to create this one your way through choice. Several years ago, I created a simple formula that I use all the time in my educational talks and reflection, and honestly, in my everyday life. It's easy to remember and incredibly effective. Just 3 simple words: keep, stop, start. It sounds simple, but it's so powerful. It's a formula for clarity. Whenever I feel overwhelmed or unsure, I take a pause and I ask myself those 3 questions. What do I want to keep doing at this moment? What do I want to stop doing at this very moment? And what do I want to start? What is it that I need to add? But last year, right around this time, I had a moment of quiet. I paused. I'm sure almost by accident. And I realized something special. I could use this same formula for the holidays. I looked back at the year before and I asked myself 3 simple questions. What do I want to keep from the last holiday and this holiday? What do I want to stop? And what do I want to start? And that's where the clarity came in. Not in doing more, but in choosing less. Or maybe it's better to say in choosing better. I shifted my focus from out there, from what's new, what's trending, what everyone else is doing, to what actually felt true and mine. Because awareness turns memories into guidance. And I'm a big believer in the wisdom of our own experience. In my Create Your Midlife method, the very first element is own your story. And that is for a reason. We've lived so much already. We've learned so much, built so much, survived so much. That history isn't just behind us, it's our foundation. So when I look at the holidays now, I don't look at them as a blank state. I look at them as a continuation, another chance to refine what works and release what doesn't. Because here's the truth. You can't repeat peace if you don't recognize what created it. And keep in mind, I'm not inviting you to look back and get lost in nostalgia. This isn't about recreating some perfect Christmas from 20 years ago. It's about learning from your own experience, doing a lessons learned from your own past holidays. This is self-leadership in motion. It's what I call intentional continuity, building your presence from what has already proven to nurture you. So let's look at each part of this formula, keep, stop, start, and see how you can use it to design your most grounded, joyful, and authentic holiday season yet. Not the one that looks perfect, the one that actually feels like you. Let's begin with the keep, stop, start ritual, what I like to call the calm woman's checklist. It's not about doing less or doing more. It's about doing with awareness. It's about leading your season from the inside out, grounded, intuitive, and beautifully self-aware. We start with keep. Ask yourself, what from last year felt good in my body, in my heart, in my house, in my life? Think about those moments that made you exhale, the deep, quiet ones. Maybe it was a concert or a favorite play. Maybe it was that slow walk through the outdoor Christmas market, the smell of pine and cinnamon, a hot drink in your hand. Maybe it was watching those perfectly imperfect holiday movies that made you smile for no reason at all. I know we all love those, even though we would never admit that out there in a public. These aren't just activities. They're emotional anchors, gentle reminders of what nourishes you beneath the noise. They remind you who you are when everything slows down. So keep them. Keep what works. Keep what feels like you. Because every time you repeat peace, you strengthen it. And that's your keep. The next one is stop. Now ask yourself, what drained me, even if it looked nice from the outside? We all have those moments. We all have those things. Maybe it was overhosting. Maybe it was saying yes out of guilt, over planning, or trying to please everyone at once. Write them down, not as judgments, but as gentle don'ts. You'll be amazed how much space this simple list can create. Awareness is what breaks the repetition cycle. You don't have to repeat what exhausts you, not even in the name of tradition. Stopping isn't quitting. It's choosing. It's self-agency in its simplest, most powerful form. For me personally, what I'm stopping this year is cooking. Not cooking altogether, but in Ukraine, we have this incredible tradition, which I love, that every time we invite people over into our homes, we have to have this incredibly amazing put together table with dishes and dishes that are, of course, handmade. And usually women or men who prepares the table spend hours and hours. Well, when I look at my busy schedule right now, I often say no to meeting with friends or inviting them over to my home because I feel overwhelmed with preparing that table. So this year, I decided to stop on that tradition and maybe focus on just a few dishes. Or maybe just do something very much in the American style, where it would be coffee, tea, and some sweets, maybe just a glass of wine or champagne. But I will put the focus on talking to my friends, seeing my friends, and spending time with my friends celebrating the season instead of worrying about dishes and how will they come out. So the next one, we're moving to start. And finally, here with this word, ask yourself, what do I want to invite in this year that reflects who I am now? This is where you give yourself permission to evolve, to update your rituals the same way you've updated your life. For me this year, I'm starting to show up in more sparkle. Sequins, shimmer, a touch of glitter in my makeup and clothes. And I'm starting it early in the season. I'm starting to invite my friends, as I mentioned earlier, over without the pressure of the abundant Ukrainian table. No 12-course feasts, no hours in the kitchen. It's not about changing everything. It's about aligning your season with your current self, the woman you are today, not the one you used to be or the one you think you should be. And when you live like that, when you keep, stop, and start with awareness, you stop surviving the holidays and start creating them. This is the truest, most natural way to design your holidays and your midlife. From calm, from clarity, from choice. The clarity came when I gave myself permission to do it my way. That one sentence changed everything for me because this is what self-agency looks like in the most emotional season of the year. You can honor the past without living by it. You can love your family deeply and still choose differently this time. You can stay connected to your roots and still grow in your own direction. It's not rebellion, it's resonance. It's when what you do matches who you are. For me, that's what the holidays have become. Not a performance, not a checklist. Even though I do perform, I invite my friends over and we sing and I play piano, but that is a different type of performance. The woman I am now is the woman who is clear with her choices and the woman that allows her to stop on the things that don't work, keep the things that I love, and only after that, start something new, add something new that I know will bring joy to my life. So here's a small reflection practice for you, one that can become a ritual, not just an exercise. This week, write 3 short lists: keep, stop, start. That becomes your unique contract with yourself for the season. Make it a moment of connection, not pressure. Light a candle, put on your favorite music. Maybe do it with a glass of wine or a cup of tea or hot chocolate. Maybe in your favorite holiday pajamas. Let it be cozy, simple, and yours. Give yourself that hour not to plan, but to feel, to remember, to notice, to lead yourself gently into what's next. And if you like, extend this ritual beyond yourself. I do it with my family, and it's always one of my favorite moments. At the end of the day, my husband, my son, and I sit down together and go through what we each want to keep, to stop, and to start this year. It's honest, sometimes funny, and always full of heart and memories. And after memories come dreams. This year, we're starting a new tradition, something simple but meaningful. We don't know yet if it'll stay for the whole year, but it feels right for now. And that's the magic of you choosing. There is something that you can choose this year and then completely, absolutely change it next. One tradition we're definitely keeping from last year is our advent calendars. We each have our own. And every night in December, we open one small surprise and share it with each other. It's such a small thing, but it stretches the joy of the season across the whole month. I personally love these moments. It turns every day into a tiny moment of connection. So maybe this year, try it your way. Create holidays that feel less like obligation and more like reflection, less like performance and more like presence. Because remember, even the best traditions still could feel slightly as obligations if they're not choosing by you and if they're not fitting your current lifestyle. And that is the best part of Keep Stop Start ritual, because you can use it every day and you can use it to plan your holidays this year and then, as I said, completely change it next year. This is not a plan. It's a practice. It's not about control. It's absolutely about choice. And the more you practice it, the more your holidays start to look and feel like you. You don't need to find the perfect holiday. You only need to find yourself in it. Because peace isn't something we stumble upon. It's something we create, one choice, one boundary, one quiet moment at a time. And for women, for all of us, very often, it's remembering ourselves in this holiday season. This is the season to remember that awareness is the real luxury of midlife. To know what matters, to know what doesn't, and to give yourself permission to meet life as you are, right here, right now, in your midlife years, not as the world expects you to be. The holidays don't define you. You define how you meet them. Through your pace, your presence, your values, through the moments you choose to keep, the expectations you choose to release, and the joy you choose to invite in, even when things aren't perfect. So let the season be a return, not a race. A return to your own authentic rhythm, to your warmth, to your own authentic, unique truth. Because the calmest woman in the room isn't the one who did the most. It's the one who chooses with clarity, acts with ease, and enjoys with presence. Thank you for listening to Create Your Midlife with me, Dr. Oksana Skidan. Take what resonated, leave what doesn't, and remember, the art of leading yourself is the new luxury of our century. You already have yourself, and that's where creation begins. I'll meet you here next week.